Welcome to Comfort Time with Aunty Yunike, where we share testimony stories. Today we have a very special guest. You haven't seen her on Comfort Time, but I'm hoping that you'll see more of her going forward. This is a very dear friend from way back. This is one lady who's been in the women's movement, and I can testify, one lady who puts her money where the mouth is. This is one woman who believes in supporting women, and I've got evidence. This is Ms. Daisy Nkata Ngambi of Nkata Chambers, a practicing lawyer, and like I've said before, a dear friend. Nkata, welcome to Comfort Time. I pray that the Zambia National Women's Lobby, where your chair, is doing good.
Oh, it's good, fine, and thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. So our topic for today is sexual harassment in the workplace. I'm sure this is not new to all of us hearing about it. It's something that we have all experienced in different forms. And we've invited our dear sister, our dear mother, to walk us through, as she has interacted with many women who have experienced it. Please walk us through, what are your experiences with sexual harassment in the workplace?
Okay, sexual harassment in the workplace. I can first define what sexual harassment is.
Mm-hmm.
It really is any form of activity which somebody does not welcome, uninvited attention. Sometimes to just take a form of commenting on how the woman looks. Sometimes to take the form of touching her bums. And all that is sexual harassment, because it makes the woman uncomfortable, or even the man, to make them uncomfortable, because they are not your friends, they are not your relative. Why are you touching their bums?
Yes.
Why are you commenting on the way they are dressed? This is a workplace. So sexual harassment is any activity or
that is not welcome.
That is not welcome. So in my work, I've discovered and I've found that some young ladies, even old women, do get sexually harassed. Some old women are jeered at for the way they look. They are told to go home and sleep. The young ones, they are told, oh, I would like to, to show you how to use those lips at one time, and things like that. And some, because of rejecting that behavior, they are not promoted. They leave because they get highly embarrassed. They don't like the trauma that they have to face. I've tried at one time to take up the case with the police and to go to, it didn't work, because the young lady just, couldn't allow herself to be stigmatized at the office place. So these are the issues. And usually it happens in private or in public offices.
Okay.
It can be a hotel, a church, a big public company, a private company. It's all there. And sometimes the poor girl will be told to work unholy hours, just so that at the end of the shift she will be a victim of sexual harassment. And sometimes the girl or even the boy will be told there's a trip to Wangwa, and if you refuse, you remain. Why is the trip to Wangwa attractive to the young lady? It's because of the stipend
or the allowances
that she will go and make. And maybe this girl has got, she's a lone mother, looking after parents, looking after children. So she's easily lured. She thinks, maybe let me just go there, let me just do what this man is asking. But usually you come back from there and the man can't look at you again, and you are frustrated. So that's what happens.
Does that happen when you are looking for work, when you're looking for a job? Is that, I've heard that sometimes it's part of the interview?
Yes, indeed. Just one of the places, one of the situations where you find it. You find sometimes even at the time of promotion,
Okay.
you'll be told you will not be promoted because
You have not opened your legs.
Yes, and until. Then sometimes it will happen salary-wise, because as you know, a salary is a secret. You may think I'm a sector, I'm getting 10,000 kwacha, or I'm a lawyer, I'm getting 10,000 kwacha. The others will get more than you.
Okay.
So it's always that sort of pay differentials. Maybe you want a loan. Just when you are placed in this vulnerable situation where you cannot afford to say no. So it will happen there. It will even happen after you have left employment. Believe it or not, you come back, you want to get your gratuity, and you are told, well, I'm the one in charge of your gratuity. You won't get it until. So it's all sorts of situations in the workplace.
Wow.
Sometimes you go to an accommodation out there, Livingstone,
Yes.
and you find that maybe there are only four rooms, and this can even be deliberate. And you're told, well, we have no choice, but okay, I want to share. To share.
Oh,
and things like that.
Oh,
yes,
dear.
they do happen. Yeah.
Wow. I had a lot of such issues when as you're aware, and I don't know if I've officially thanked you for supporting me when I was campaigning, when I tried to do it. Yes. So I saw a lot of women complaining that for them to be adopted, they needed to open their legs for certain bodies. I saw a lot of issues that I didn't understand. It didn't happen to me, so I can't say I went through it. But I just heard a lot of women complaining. Is this something you have encountered? Because I know you've been there supporting the women in all the campaigns. You were with us. When I stood, you were with all the women. There were 2 women in my constituency, and you were there for us as women's lobby. And I know you were there for many other women in other constituencies. So is this something that women complained of?
Yes, like I said, you find sexual harassment in all sorts of places where maybe you may be seeking employment. Even farm workers, factory workers. Okay. Everywhere, bus stations, whatever it is. So with political corruption, for example, it comes in all forms, including sexual favors. Okay. What they will say is, okay, if you want to be adopted, you better be nice to me. Now you can imagine you go from branch to constituency to whatever level, to the neck. How many are going to see?
Can you
so
imagine?
Some women, it discourages women to come forward and stand for elections. And in some cases, some women do actually believe that that's what it takes, but it doesn't have to take that. Especially if you are in a situation where, in an area where you know you're not popular, leave it. You don't have to fight it. So we've heard of such stories, and it is very, very sad, and somehow we need to have those issues corrected, and they can only be corrected by us and the other communities where we live. If we say no to some of these things, they won't be happening.
Do we have any policy that we can reach out to in such issues when we find ourselves in such? Is there any policy in Zambia or internationally that supports such?
So at international level, we have the Convention 190, which talks about sexual harassment in places of work. However, I'm not too sure where we are at as a nation. I know that most nations have ratified it. But as a nation, and in actualizing it and in domesticating it, I'm not sure where we are at. But sexual harassment, as you know, is part of gender-based violence. Yes, it is a form of gender-based violence. So there's already the law, there's already the policies, and even a unit at the police station which should actually look after you and protect you. So there are all these things that are in place. But as I keep saying, the law is not adequate unless you yourself come out and do something about it.
Okay. So at the end of the day, it's up to us to be confident enough to fight for ourselves.
Indeed, I always say you need to be self-safe, and you can only be self-safe if you become empowered.
Okay.
Empowerment does not just mean money on its own. What we are discussing now is empowerment, because I do know that of your many people that are listening to us, one or two will come up and say, yes, that has been happening, let me go and report it. And then in other places, in most workplaces now, you need to have the same sexual harassment policy, or in some places they call it the SEA policy, against sexual harassment. And in other places like the church, the Catholic Church, they call it safeguarding of vulnerable people. So it's happening out there. All you have to do is go and ask. If it's a church, go and ask, how can I be protected? If it's not there, go to the police and ask them, how can I be protected? This is what is happening to me. Otherwise, YWCA is always there to give guidance and psychosocial counseling, so that you know exactly what you can do.
And I think you just have to be street smart sometimes. I know sexual harassment comes in all shapes and forms. I know when I experienced that, I didn't even know it was sexual harassment. So I was running a business and I needed certain commodities. So I applied and I was I had the best price, and they had chosen me to be the one that should get those things. But then what happened was that every time I went to claim, I was told, no, there's something wrong in your report. But they would not tell me what was wrong so I could correct it. So I kept on, for 3 weeks I followed up, and I was losing my customers. So when one lady fortunately came to me and said, Mom, there's nothing wrong with your papers. What that man wants is for you to go and be with him. I said, but I'm a married woman. It didn't matter to him that you are married. So I said, okay, so this is something I need to do. So I said, okay, make an appointment for me with him. And I went to see him. So I said, oh, hi, no, I've been waiting for this. It's not happening. So I don't know how you can help me. And he was very nice, says, no, I mean, we can help each other. I said, yes, that's why I'm here. So how can we help each other? He says, okay, can we go out for dinner? So I said, okay, that's fine. Only is it possible that you allow me to get these things, you sign for me? So that because I've lost time, I've been coming here for the past 3 weeks. So let me get these things moving, and then we meet for dinner tomorrow. I mean, after, after 2 days, 3 days. He was like, oh, sure. He quickly signed for me, and I went, got the product, and moved on. Then I came back now. I went and bought a very nice tie for him. I went and I bought a beautiful scarf for his wife and a handbag. And I came to his office and I said, you are such a nice man. Do you know that in offices it becomes very difficult for us as women to function, because most of these men want you to sleep with them and they want But I'm so glad that you just wanted us to go out for dinner. So I'm still busy now, but I told my husband he wants to be part of the dinner. I hope you don't mind. So I'll let you know when we're both free and we can come for dinner. The guy just looked down because he understood that, I knew, yes. So after that, I didn't need him anymore. And I think sometimes you just have to play on their own psychology.
That's why I'm saying that you need to be self-safe. You ask yourself, is this what I should be doing?
And for how long? To how many men?
Yes. So at the end of the day, being self-safe means you can easily sense danger. Because they'll tell you, come at 16 or so, come at 18 hours. Why do I
people have knocked off at 17? Why am I going to the office at 18?
So,
and I think, I've seen girls, ladies who are in such a situation that, you know, they're so desperate. Where they're coming from, they're being told, your friends know what to do to get jobs. So you keep on coming back here that today don't come back. And then you meet such a person. So you start feeling, you know, I'm between a rock and a hard place. Like the video we produced recently, I think a link will show, to show that sometimes you are between a rock and a hard place, and it's up to you now to say, okay, where to now? Yeah, so I think it's we're so grateful for the work that you're doing. I know you've been at it a long time. Don't get tired. Just continue. Some of us are getting it, some of us may not get it, but there are those that are getting it, and we really value your input. Yeah, you are one of the very special ladies to me, and I'm very grateful for what you do. Yeah, women need that. And I know you are not only helping the women, you help even the men, as Nelson is doing now.
Is it listening?
Yeah, so we
so in fact, I just want to emphasize the fact that it's not just women who find themselves in this issue of sexual harassment. Even men do. I can be working with some young men and I fancy some of them. Yes. And I'll tell them, sorry, if you don't come this evening, no promotion, no. People do get desperate. What we are saying is a bad practice. You are making in the workplace an unsafe place for people to be. You are making it in terms of gender an unequal place for people to be. And you are now diminishing the dignity of both men and women and their community and family life. Because after people have something like that has happened to them, family life is never the same.
No, it's not the same.
It's never the same. So it's both men and women.
Yeah.
It's just that only the majority that this is done to are women.
Yeah, and then, you know, I don't think men understand that that is another way of killing someone. And I'm saying men, but I know even the women that do that to men, it's a form of killing someone, because, you know, when you go through that, you feel violated, you feel dirty, so how are you supposed to carry on with your own husband, with your own wife, when you've been violated in such a way? It's a form of killing. If you have traumas, maybe most of the people who do this are people that were abused themselves. So if you did go through this trauma, it is always said, what happened to you is not your fault, but healing is your responsibility. So make sure that you seek healing so that you don't go bleeding on people who had nothing to do with your injury, because that's what you end up doing. People that you are hurting had nothing to do with that, and you go start hurting people. Yeah, so it's really, really sad.
That's why it's also one of the occupational safety issues, sexual harassment. Because soon after it has happened to you, you really loathe yourself. And especially when the person even ignores you after it has happened.
Can you imagine?
So, I don't know how many times I have to give my shoulder for women that are crying.
I tell you.
And then they can't share with their husbands, they can't share with their boyfriends, because it's really traumatic.
But it just destroyed your family life. It destroys it all, because he'll be wondering why you are no longer interested, and you are not able to explain to him, because most women just think, if I share with him, he may not want me after that. He may think it's me who asked for it. And so it becomes very difficult. This is really sad. No, thank you so much, Nyankata, for coming to talk to us. And is there anything else you want to share with us in closing?
No, just to say, if this happens to you, if any of the situations that I've talked about happen to you, please go to the nearest place, or go to YWCA for a chat.
Okay.
Otherwise, the law on sexual, on gender-based violence is very clear. The person will be prosecuted, and you can even get a protection order, because according to the C190, the same convention, it also says that if a woman works for you and she's a person who is facing gender-based violence at home, as an employer, you must find accommodation.
Okay.
You must.
Oh, good.
Yes, you must find the accommodation. So it encompasses everything. So
Yes.
as soon as it's put into place here in Zambia, it will be very good. Because if I'm beaten by my husband, the employer must look after me, because that's where it starts
That's
from.
great. Yes, because you have nowhere to go. And sometimes families say, no, if we house you, it means we are supporting the separation or the divorce. So you are on your own, and then you have nowhere to go. That's awesome.
And also what that C190 says is that at the place of employment, the workers must have a place where they can go and complain.
Okay.
And be assisted.
Like a counselor.
And even taken to the police, medical examination, and so on and so forth. So it's a good convention under the International Labour Organization. I just hope that as soon as possible it is put in place in Zambia. But we have our Gender-Based Violence Act, which can...
Okay, which also can help.
Yeah.
I hope you will look at how we can push for that as Zambia National Women's Lobbies, just to find out where we are and to push for it to even be implemented. Because if that is implemented, I think a lot of women and men will find a safe space, because it's not only the women who are facing GBV, the men too. So if he's a man and he's working for a woman and that woman abuses him, and he's able to get provided accommodation, which maybe he didn't have before and was sticking because of that, that too will help. So I think it's very important that we push for that. If the laws are there, that policy is there, even if it's not at our Zambian level, it's something we should tap into. Awe, thank you so much, Madam Daisy.
Thank you very much.
It was so nice to have you on Comfort Time.
Anytime.
That was our mother, our sister, Anyankata, as we lovingly call her. Please, you've heard what she has said. You have places to be, you have places to go. Don't feel boxed in. Don't feel that you have nowhere to go. You have places to go. Just reach out, as has been explained, and heal yourself. Thank you very much for watching. I pray that all of you watching have subscribed. That's another way of supporting Comfort Time, and that you have given us a thumbs up. When you do that, YouTube will share the video with many other people, and so many people will get the information and will get to help more people. So Comfort Time continues. Stay blessed. See you in the next video.